Welcome to Equine Assisted World. I'm your host, Rupert Isaacson, New York Times bestselling author of The Horse Boy, The Long Ride Home and The Healing Land. Before I jump in with today's guest, I just want to say a huge thank you to you, our audience, for helping to make this happen. I have a request. If you like what we do, please like, subscribe, tell a friend. It really helps us get this work done. As you might know from my books, I'm an autism dad. And over the last 20 years, we've developed several equine-assisted, neuroscience-backed certification programs. If you'd like to find out more about them, go to newtrailslearning.com. So without further ado, let's meet today's guest. Welcome back to Equine Assisted World. Those of us who have family skin in the game, you know, everyone knows my story with my son. Some of you maybe have listened to podcasts with the Berghoff family in Germany and with Helena Hjalmarsson in New York. And so all of us who are autism parents or parents of kids with, you know, fairly extreme special needs have a unique perspective on this equine assisted thing because we live it. We have no choice. We're in it beyond the grave. We have to turn our lives over to it completely in a way that is perhaps a little different to someone who wants to get into it from a purely professional or vocational point of view. And so for that reason, I'm always very excited when I have parents and families coming on the show who have this experience and also have created a practice, an equine assisted practice from that experience, because I think we can all absolutely agree that these people are the mentors. So I've got a couple of these mentors with us today from the Netherlands, and their story with their son Stan has informed a whole practice and a way of life, which is now helping people in the Netherlands and through this podcast, perhaps beyond. So without further ado, I'm going to ask them to introduce themselves and we'll take it from there. So who are you guys?
I am Monique Timmermans. I am the mother of Stan. And we also have another son and another daughter. So that's me.
Okay.
I'm Keesjan. I'm the father of Stan and our other son, Gus, and our daughter. And Stan is already now 20 years old, almost. Sorry.
Yes.
Almost 20.
Okay. And you guys run an equine assisted practice. Monique, I know you are the main driver of this.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you do? And then we're going to go to your story with Stan and how it's led to what you do. So tell us about your practice.
Yes. I have a practice where I do session with people, all kinds of things. And that's where I have the beautiful calling of ever, and that's my horses. Horses tell you everything. You can lie to them. And they will put a mirror on you, but they also can put your system on. And then, I mean, a system who can relaxing you, who makes you zen, who puts on the nervous vagus, we call about it. And that's when it's going to happen. And especially people with autism who always are standing on, we call it, they're always beware of what is going to happen, what was seen. So all the how do you call it in English, the censoring, they will put it in, and they don't know a way to put it out and to getting regulated. So when I have someone with autism and he's standing by the horse, it's already there. The horse takes the extension away. It's beautiful to see, and the moment it's happened, that the kids or the people who are standing there, they have right away another way of standing. They are going to relax. They feel their body. They are going out of the brain into the body. And that's a beautiful thing. So that's what I do. And also take the whole family, a holistic look at the family. What is happening with you? What's happening with the parents when you have a kid with autism? What is happening with the other kids? How do they go with that? They have a lot to learn about their brother or sister, and things they don't want to learn because they also have their own space. They needed their own space. So there's a lot to learn.
Do you have the other family members come for the sessions with you as well as just the autistic client?
Yes, yes, I have. And then when you have the whole system, so the whole family, you can see what is happening and where the extensions begins and what is happening with dad, and what is happening with mom, and what is happening with the little sister, and why is she afraid, and why are we going to scream at each other, or what we don't understand. And the important thing, I think, is to look at your child with autism. What is he telling you without words? Look at him. Look at his eyes. Look at his skin. There are kind of things. Look at his fingers. How is he putting his fingers? Then that tells you a lot of information. You can deal with it.
I'm intrigued when you say look at his skin.
Yes.
What do you mean by that?
When the extension is going too high, they are, how do you call it? The
Muscle.
tension, the muscle tension. You can see it. There are.
He's making fists.
He's making fists. He's
looking for pressure.
He's looking. Yeah. Yeah.
Things
He
like
is.
that.
He is. Sometimes they put also their hands behind their back to look for the, how do you call it? The hereditary line. I call it, right?
Like the pressure on the kidneys and the adrenal glands.
I think.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And to feel where am I standing? Where are my feet? Where are my feet? Because they need to regular. And when
Okay,
they
to
are
try to
standing
ground
on their
themselves.
feet,
Yeah.
they are getting more space in the brain, so that can bring them back into where they really are.
This is interesting. You know, I absolutely agree with you. I obviously with Horseboy, we try to involve as many family members as we can, partly because for the reasons that you just outlined, but also, frankly, for selfish reasons. I will learn more about your child if the brother and the sister are there, because I don't know your kid, you know,
No.
and your kid doesn't trust me, doesn't know me. And the brother and the sister, they know each other better even than the parents know the child. So often the brother or the sister will say to me, oh, when he makes that noise, it means this, or
Yes.
when, you know, don't do this, but make sure you do this. This is really good information. And I won't get it unless I have some expert there. So I also realize that I need to make my place attractive to the brother and the sister. Maybe they don't like horses. Maybe they like football. Maybe they like martial arts. Maybe they do like horses. So I have to think about how do I design the session. We call them play dates, you know.
Yeah.
How do I design the play date for those children? And then, of course, the mother and the father can relax a little bit because suddenly they see, oh, all of my children's needs are being met in this
Yeah.
place. And then perhaps the brother who likes football, and I call my friend who's a professional soccer coach and say, hey, I need you on this one. And suddenly he's getting amazing soccer coaching because of his brother's autism. And this changes the dynamic a little bit. Or maybe the sister, she's getting riding lessons on really good horses. You know, our horses are trained through the Grand Prix, some of them in dressage. So we can give her these incredible experiences because of her brother's autism. And it changes the dynamic, you know. I so agree. And I'm always trying to encourage practitioners to do this. But of course, it can make life more difficult. And sometimes you get parents who are not so helpful.
No.
And I'm sure you know this. And then you have to work with that. But I find that whether they are helpful or not, it's still optimal if they're all there in terms of the change that we can affect. It's, I'm very encouraged to hear you say this. I'm also interested in what you said about skin, because we noticed very early with Rowan, with my son, and then with other children, we saw there was a pattern that right before the meltdown, before the tantrum, before the negative thing, they would often go very pale.
Yeah.
The color would go pale, and you would see two little dark spots under the eyes. And eventually we realized this was lack of protein. This was a blood sugar crash.
Yeah.
And that if we could get a little bit of protein into them, it was a little bit like putting gasoline back in the brain tank.
Yeah.
And now we got to the point where we will always tell the parent or the caregiver who's bringing the child, make sure that they and you have had protein 30 minutes before you come, because cognitively it will make a difference. And it was the skin color change that first alerted us to this. And now I see it in everybody, including myself. Like there are some times when I'm like, yeah, and I look at myself in the mirror like, oh shit,
I
Where is it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a practice, it's called InKompassie. So that's in compassion.
Yes.
Why this word? Why compassion?
Why compassion? I tell you, when I started to on my practice, I didn't have a name yet. And I have searched, and in Latin, and in English, and in French, and all kind of languages came through my mind. But no, it wasn't until I had to go myself to the hospital with emergency. And after 3 days, I became home, and I was lying on the couch, and suddenly the name came up. InKompassie, because it was time to look at myself. InKompassie. It was time. We have given a lot as parents, and it doesn't mind. I do it right away, but I don't have to tell you what it's meant to have a child with autism, what it costs on the energy. And that was the moment I thought, yeah, InKompassie. So that's how I became to this name.
Okay, so let's dial back now, speaking
Yeah.
of the experience as a parent.
Yes.
I want both of you to speak on this now. Tell me about your journey with Stan. Let's start at the beginning.
Okay. Well, when Stan was born, it was, how do you say, a quick delivery.
When you say quick, how quick?
The labor went very fast. In 1 hour, the Stan was there.
Okay.
Me. And well, we were very happy, of course, because it was our second son. And right away, Monique said directly, there's something special about Stan. Well, as a parent, your child always is special, but now she said it in a different way. There's something special about Stan. The first 2 years, we didn't notice anything different. But after a few years, we noticed that he didn't develop as the other children, especially with spoken words, etc. And there were several times when there were loud noises or other things or images, something like that. He covered his ears because he couldn't reflect them. He didn't know what to do with it. Then we went to the doctor, and the doctor said, perhaps he is deaf. There's something wrong with his ears. So we went over there. They didn't see anything special, but he still covered his ears, and he still didn't develop as the other kids. So after that, we went to another doctor. He did a lot of tests after that, because they suspect that there was something wrong they suspect the autism. They suspected autism.
Yes.
Yeah. And from there on, okay, Of course, at first we were very upset. Yeah.
Otherwise, we already knew something. It wasn't not that strange. She told us
No,
because deep inside we knew
there's something about some.
it could be honest. Yeah.
Yes, it could be all this.
Yeah.
Then we very quick we accepted the knowledge that some had autism. So from there on, we just put our minds, okay, how can we help Stan to get along with his life on a pleasant way? So we had a special case manager autism, and she learned us by videos we made of Stan, how Stan reacted in all kinds of circumstances, and especially how we could predict when Stan was started to scream, so we can, how do you say it?
Regulate him.
Yeah.
Yeah. By going.
Get him back in his comfort zone.
Yes.
Instead of sensory processing, zeg maar.
So when you got him to his comfort zone, like bed or so?
No.
What's the comfort zone?
No. By getting me like an example.
Out of the situation.
Out of the situation.
Okay, change the situation.
Swing or jump on a trampoline or squeezing him, something to get him into his body.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So change the environment, deep pressure, active movement.
Yes.
Okay. Outside, preferably. Okay.
Yeah.
This was a good therapist that you found.
Yes.
Unusual.
She is very good in her job.
Yeah,
really.
she's very good.
She learned us. She has learned us a lot.
Do you still work with this person?
No. She after I think she became here 3 years. I
3
think.
years, yeah. After 3 years.
And then she really told us, "You are so good experiments. You don't need me anymore. You can do it your own." And when she was walking through that door, you have something. No, don't go. I need you.
Yes.
But then you are going to do it on your own, and it became very well because
How old was he during this process, this time?
it was about 4 years. He was
About 4 years old.
Yeah, he was a little one. Really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so the therapist shows you some good techniques for
Yes.
sensory processing, for changing the environment, for
Yes.
giving deep pressure, etc., movement.
Yes.
What happens next?
What happens next? Well,
When he was 8 years old, we heard about very good results of children who had dolphin therapy in Curaçao.
Okay.
Yeah, and we knew the man who was
arrange everything.
arranged that kind of journeys to Curaçao.
How did you know this man? Out of interest.
His how do you call it?
He went to kindergarten, and there was a teacher.
Okay.
Oh, yes.
Who told us about it, and then
Yeah.
and so we made contact, and then
That was.
they put you on a list, and you had it's a foundation where you have to do all kinds of things to raise money so you can get with your family to dolphin therapy. And
Okay.
they pay you the ticket to fly over there and the therapy.
Is this, I'm just looking online now, is this the Curaçao Dolphin Therapy and Research Center?
Yeah.
Yes.
CDTC.
CDTC. Yeah, I've pulled it up on my Google. It looks really interesting.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was
you raise the money, you go,
Yeah.
and what happens?
What happens? Well, the first time we went over there, Stan was screaming in front of the plane.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my teeth are rolling, but we went over there, and it was amazing what happens over there because Stan couldn't still talk. We don't have any dialogic with him. We couldn't we didn't know how he was feeling when he was sad or happy or nothing.
Right.
So over there, you have to go 2 weeks. You are over there, and you are swimming with the dolphins 5 times a week. And
Okay.
also the other kids, they get a special program to put them also in the lights because they have to do a lot of things they don't want to because they have a brother with autism. So then it's also especially for them.
Yeah.
And for us, it was also an eye opener because you see a lot of things happen. You don't have the time before that because you are always busy to have your family good and get it well done, everything. And so over there, Stan goes to the ducks and they are squeeze them. They had a lot of censure regulation. And then they are going to practice with him with letters from the alphabet. And they recognize he was very good.
While he's with the dolphin or
Yes.
after he's been with the dolphin?
No, he was with the dog. It was on and off. He was a little time on the dock. Then they are doing a practice with him.
On the dock?
On the dock, yes.
Yeah.
And then it was about a minute or 10, I think. And then he gave to swim with the dolphins.
Yeah.
Then he swam for 10 minutes and then they are doing a practice again. And that was for an hour.
So he'd swim with the dolphin, then they'd go onto the dock, work on
Yes.
letters, How would they work on letters when they were on the dock?
What they did was they showed Stan a letter. They pronounced it. How do you call that letter? And every time when Stan said it right, the dolphin did a trick.
Oh.
So they stimulated Stan to say the right word and to pronounce it right. And he got a reward by a trick from the dolphin.
So the reward was the dolphin did something cool.
Yes.
This is really interesting.
It almost looked like Pavlov. If you order it a lot,
But that's my kind of Pavlov. If you're going to do that with me, then have a dolphin do something cool. I will probably be motivated. Yeah. I mean, can I ask a couple of practical questions? I'm really intrigued. So something which I've seen can be tricky when you're working with children in the ocean or in water is the sensory issue of putting on a wetsuit or putting on a flotation device or something. We used to do autism surf camps in California. We probably would do it again. We just got busy with other things. And some kids, there was no problem at all. Other kids, you really, of course, had to work for some time on just the wetsuit or something. So were there any issues like this with Stan or with other kids that you saw? And then, of course, after that, there's the water. And then there's the big animal itself. So can you just talk to me, the sensory issues of whatever equipment he had to have on his body, the sensory issues of the water, and then the sensory / fear of this big dolphin? Like, how did it progress for him?
Well, the wetsuit, that was a little thing because it's from his ankle till his shoulder. It was, but he when he knew I'm going into the water, it seems like it was okay because I think that's our luck. Stan is very good in the water. He's a very good swimmer.
Yeah.
And he's not afraid of dolphins. He likes it. He get a special vest on. I don't know how you call it.
Pressure vest.
The pressure vest that keeps him above the water because otherwise he had
a flotation device. Yeah.
But our son, he would every time he would like to dive with the dolphins. When the dolphins going to dive, he thought, okay, I'm going with you, but he couldn't because he had that squeezing.
And how did he react to that?
it goes very well, but he was the lucky man because after a day or 10, by getting therapy, his therapist told us he may go diving with the dolphins.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the thing we said, it's okay, but please dive with him because he doesn't know anything about how deep the dolphin is going. Or,
Yes.
and so please and go with him. And they have done that. And it was beautiful. He was, ecstatic. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
How long did the sessions with the dolphin last?
About an hour.
Yeah.
The whole session was 2
Was 2
hours.
hours? Yeah.
First hour they were on the dogs and doing therapy like squeezing and to make puzzles, etc. That kind of stuff. He didn't like that. And the first 3 or 4 times he was screaming a lot. But after that, he recognized that if he did the playing and the therapy right, his reward again was swimming with the dolphins, and that he liked a lot. And the total session was 2 hours, 5 days a week at the same time.
Okay, now you told me when we were speaking before I hit record, you told me that he became really verbal during his time with the dolphins. Can you describe the before, during, and after of that process?
Well, I mentioned already, when things were difficult for Stan to understand because it was too difficult for him. He didn't understand what they wanted from him or what to do, what to see, something like that. He could only express his feelings by screaming because he didn't talk at all. After, and Monique just mentioned how we went into the plane with a lot of screaming, and when we went back, he didn't scream at all. Because the most important thing we've learned over there is when we predict what's going to happen for some, it gives him a lot of rest. He feels comfortable about knowing what is going to happen. That's one of the things we've learned over there. We also have learned to look at Sam and go with his tempo, with his way
His rhythm
of living. Yeah. That are the most important things we've learned over there.
Yes, and the thing about the words he was learning, the letters, the words, we are people who like to talk, and we talk a lot. But because we think we can everything arrange with talking, but the silence is saying much more. And that was also with Stan. When we went over there and they saw he was doing it very well with his letters and that kind of thing, and we came home, school picked it up also. His teacher said, okay, that's very nice to hear. We are going further with that. We taken that kind of therapy further with him so he can learn words. And we call it in Dutch woordbeeld. And so he had word
image, word picture.
Yeah, and because he visual, he's very strong. And that was his way to learn words and learn the meaning of the words, because that was also what makes him uncomfortable. Because when we are talking, there are a lot of words. He doesn't say anything to him. He doesn't understand. What are you talking about? I hear a lot of noise, but I don't know what you are telling me or what are you talking about. So that makes this tension a lot of more. And yeah, so he became to screaming, etc., etc. And when school, take it over from there. Yeah, he makes and
the screaming went away. It stopped totally.
Yeah.
And when he came back from the Dolphins, he was able to talk. He was able to express his needs and say, "Mummy's hungry, mummy, I'm thirsty," or was it
No,
still in the early stages?
no, he still doesn't do that.
Okay.
He still doesn't do that. It's never, we came back at home, then he will go for his drink and his candy, but he will never tell us from himself what he has done. Never. We always have to ask him.
Okay.
We will
But
never.
can you describe how he is verbal now? Like how he would talk to you?
Well, we recognize that his meaning is a lot bigger of words. So he can, in that way, explain what he wants. That is going very well. And that's his progress he made.
Can you give me an example?
Well,
Yeah.
first of all, in the beginning, when we asked him how was school, it was good and nothing more.
That sounds like many kids.
Yeah.
Shit.
I know. But when you ask what have you done on school, have you done at school, he didn't say anything. But now he tells us in a few words. I have swinged, I have puzzled, I have been with the animals. So yeah, that kind of words he used to tell us what his day was. What his day like was.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And okay, so when he came back from Curaçao the first time, because I know you went 2 times,
Yeah.
what would you say? How was he speaking after that first trip? How was he using words?
Very functional.
Yeah.
Stan is a boy who is very functional, so he gets his things he needs.
By drinking,
yes.
by food, by playing.
So would he ask for things, or how was he expressing himself?
Yes, well, that became. So about the years, he's going to do that a lot more. When he don't want anything or he don't want to tell us anything more, then he said to us, no, not anymore.
Okay.
So that's something he has learned. When I don't want anything anymore, I have to tell them.
And this began after Curaçao.
And yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, this is really interesting. I often, when I'm giving people trainings, I tell them you must value negative communication as highly as positive communication.
Yeah.
Because when you're dealing with somebody who's nonverbal, if they tell you what they don't like and what they don't want, this is massive progress. You know,
Yeah.
please tell me what else you don't want to do. And of course, in normal parenting, this is regarded as, a real problem when the kids are negative but of course, from our point of view, often things happen that way first. No, I don't want. And I suppose in a way it is the same with neurotypical, i.e. normal kids. They usually actually start with no.
Yeah.
At 2 years old, no.
Yeah.
And then that's the first self-advocacy. So you saw that after Curaçao the first time.
Yes.
Yeah.
You went back again. How long between the two? Was it the next year?
No,
3 years.
3 years.
3 years. Why 3 years? And tell me what happened on the second trip.
Well, he did it very good at school. And you have also the time to make that money you needed to go over there. So when you went over there, you're going beneath or at last on the list.
Yeah.
Okay.
You start all over again
Get on top.
to get on top.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. There's a list.
Yes. There's a list, and so you have to do things to get your money again to go over there.
Okay.
So that's why. And then when it is already there and you can go to Curaçao, then also has to be there some place to go.
Right.
And so that's why the 3 years.
Got it.
Yes, yes.
If you're in the equine assisted field, or if you're considering a career in the equine assisted field, you might want to consider taking one of our 3 neuroscience-backed equine assisted programs. Horseboy Method, now established for 20 years, is the original equine assisted program specifically designed for autism, mentored by and developed in conjunction with Dr. Temple Grandin and many other neuroscientists. We work in the saddle with younger children, helping them create oxytocin in their bodies and neuroplasticity in the brain. It works incredibly well. It's now in about 40 countries. Check it out. If you're working without horses, you might want to look at movement method, which gets a very, very similar effect, but can also be applied in schools, in homes. If you're working with families, you can give them really tangible exercises to do at home that will create neuroplasticity when they're not with you. Finally, we have Takhin equine integration. If you know anything about our programs, you know that we need a really high standard of horsemanship in order to create the oxytocin in the body of the person that we're working with, child or adult. So this means we need to train a horse in collection, but this also has a really beneficial effect on the horse's well-being. And it also ends your time conflict where you're wondering, oh my gosh, how am I going to condition my horses and maintain them and give them what they need, as well as serving my clients? Takhin equine integration, aimed at a more adult client base, absolutely gives you this. Okay, so tell me what happened on that second trip.
Well, we had still a little thing because Stan still wearing diapers
At that age.
at that age.
He would be by then 12?
Yeah, 11. Yeah.
11.
Yeah. So that was our next thing.
That was our main goal.
Yeah. And well, it also went very well, not directly, because when we went over there, they have done a lot of other things instead of wearing the diaper and doing something about that. It's actually almost the same when I am working with my horses. It's in the moment. What tells the horse what to do? So, and it was also with the Dolphins. So the second time, what had they do? They make them.
Especially they learn him to wait and to get the patience about things he want, or otherwise things we have to do first before we can help or we can do things with some. That's the most important thing. They have learned him to wait, and they also have learned us to, because we always had the focus on sound, but we also have 2 other children, and they also need our attention. But when we were doing something with the other children, and we saw that Sam was asking for us, or he was high in his
in his tension,
in his tension, then we sort automatically went to Stan to help him. And they say that's not quite fair to the other children. So we have learned to say to Stan, no, Stan.
Not now.
Not now. You have to wait for a moment. But after this, we come to you. Yeah. And that also went with, as Stan asked for, can I get some candy? We said, and it was almost dinner time, something like that. Then we said to Stan, no, Stan, you can't have candy, but you can get a banana or something like that, something else instead. So we learned to bend things that weren't quite right for Stan into good things, and
and patience. Yeah, and he learned quite well.
Okay, so, but did the toilet training with the diapers advance during the second trip?
No, no, that's not quite right. It became better when we went home. And after that, we only had it by nights. He was wearing a diaper, so that went very well. And I think about when he was I think 13,
Yeah.
something like that. He didn't wear it at all.
Yeah.
Tell
He
me.
was finished with it suddenly.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm interested to know, what did they do in Curaçao to target the toilet training?
But actually nothing, because they have other targets with him.
So why do you think it changed to only nights after that second trip?
Well, we think that because he began to learn better how his body was working and how his tension, he could regulate it on better ways. He gets space in his mind, and so he get also a signal. I have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And that was also what we have learned from childs with autism, that they don't get the signal right away. And that was with Stan. He get the signal. I have of the single. I have to go to the bathroom. And from
Well,
yes.
the most important lesson we learned, and that's with a lot of things with Stan. Stan does things when he is ready.
Ready for it. Yeah.
You've got to push things to get it done, because if he isn't ready in his mind and in his body, you don't get the result. So you have to recognize when he's ready to learn something, to accept something, to do something.
You know, listening to the story, I can also imagine some things happening in his brain during this time with the Dolphins, because you're going somewhere very new, very different, very surprising in a good way,
Yeah.
magical, this time with Dolphins. And of course, what happens, a lot of movement involved and a lot of natural sensory stuff. You're in water, you're with the big animal, you've got the sensory comfort of the deep pressure of the person in the water with you, all of these things. And with this comes a neurological reaction, accelerated, which we would call neuroplasticity, but specifically the production of a protein in the brain, which happens whenever you do something new, basically, particularly if it's physical, moving and problem solving effectively. And that's a protein with its name is 4 letters, BDNF, brain derived neurotrophic factor. When you do something with what one calls novel movement, let's say you sit on a horse, let's say you're going in the water, let's say you run across a field. It's very different running across a field to running on a playground, because on the playground you don't need to think too much. Where do my feet go? On the field, you must think, because if you put your foot in the wrong place, you fall over because there's a little hole or something. So your mind has to be more active. You go with the dolphin, you go with the horse, this effect is amplified. And so you get incredible amounts of neuroplasticity, of brain development in these types of situation. And then, of course, this could be very scary, which would shut down the brain development. But of course, he's there with the family. He's there with all this love. He's there. There's, I'm sure, all kinds of heart resonance coming from the dolphin, which has a very big heart throwing off an electromagnetic field. That is very big. And of course, the dolphin, being this hyper intelligent, social, compassionate animal, is doing all kinds of work with him on a level that we can't even probably see. You put all this together, I can see how he could come back from that experience able to regulate his toileting, for example, because of the brain development. Okay, so we've talked about dolphins, and this is wonderful. And actually, I'm going to have these guys on the show. I'm going to reach out to them, because even though it's not equine, it's still, large animals and nature. And we need to talk to these people. Clearly, they will have things that we can learn from. But let's go to horses now. So, Monique, you are a horsewoman. Were you
Yes.
always a horsewoman?
Yes.
Grew up
I'm
with it?
nearly born in the stables.
Okay.
Yeah.
So since you were a kid, horses,
Yeah.
horses, horses, right?
Yes.
And were you having horses, owning horses while Stan was in his early years of development?
Yes.
And what was Stan's involvement or interaction with these horses?
Yes. We've always had horses. And when we get this house where we are living now, I have my horses standing by our house. They were first standing with my parents, but then they moved to us.
Okay.
And yeah, Stan and animals are just one. That's
Okay.
if it is a frog, a dog, a cat, a horse, never mind. Where animals are, there is Stan. And with the horse, we had a pony called Oscar. And Oscar is a lovely horse. And what he did, he had a very big bucket and he put it behind the top there. Yeah. And he was standing on, and he was for an hour busy with the horse to go on the back of the horse.
So he used the bucket to climb on top.
Yes, yes. But the horse thought then, oh no, right in there. That's better food. So I'm going to walk over there. And Stan was then taking the bucket with him, put it on the ground again, stand on it. And so he was for an hour busy with this horse. It was lovely to see. And when he sat on his back, he was enjoying it. He was just sitting there, just look over what kind of birds were flying in the air, what he saw, what he was feeling like, he was really zen when he was with the horse.
And how long okay. At this point, you are not running InKompassie. You don't have a practice.
No.
What are you What are you doing for a living? Are you just busy being a mum because you have 3 kids and a special needs kid? Are you also trying to do a job?
Yes, I had a job, but when we knew it was a very busy traject, you call it? I think, with our family. It was very stressful also for us. My husband just became his own office, and our daughter was very little. And I thought, no, working by a job elsewhere, it's not going to bring us that we needed.
Yeah.
So I stopped my job. I was working also on an office, and I was full-time mom. I liked it, but most of all, I think our family became in another dimension. We get spaces. There was
There's time.
we get another energy in our house. So, and that was very, very nice. And I did some other college because I don't want to just sit being a mom. I also want to develop. So I did, how do you call it? Yeah, I did some developing college trials. And then I thought, but I have horses and I have the experience of our son. And when I put it in a big bucket and I'm going to do something about that, maybe something beautiful is going to happen. And so my practice InKompassie came, and I thought when I see my own experience, what my horses bring me in times that weren't that nice, I thought, I would like to give other ones also this. I really think with all the experience we can learn other parents how you can deal with a child like Stan who has autism. There is such a lot to learn. And for example, Temple Grandin, you know her, it was our inspiration. And I've put it also in our blog from Curaçao, what she brings us. And always she is coming in my mind when I have it a little bit difficult for myself, then I think of Temple Grandin. When you are throwing the other door open, then go for it, because there are other things you can see. And It brings us a lot. And also in my practice with the horses, because that's the other door. The horses, they are just there. And when you are in the neighborhood of horses, it will just start it. It starts to bring you, such more. I don't know how can I. Yeah, I'm always.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you're preaching to the converted here, because we all, everyone listening to this show, we know the value of the horse in various ways and what they bring. A question though: how old was Stan when you started your InKompassie practice?
Well, I have now my practice for only 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you had to develop a lot of time for him.
Yes.
So by the time he was sort of in his late teens,
Yes.
in to turn your attention
Yes.
to saying, how do I help other families?
Yes.
Got it. Okay. So I'd like to talk a little bit about how you run your practice, but before that, everyone will want to know, how is Stan doing now? Where is he at? And just for the listeners and viewers, Stan does not just have autism. He also does have a diagnosed intellectual disability in parallel with the autism. So one's expectations and so on must be to some degree directed by this, but just so that people understand this neurological geography of so tell us, where is Stan now? What's his life? What's his day? And then let's get to InKompassie.
Yes. Well, he's going for now for 5 days a week to how do we call it here?
Special daycare.
Special daycare. Yeah, something like
Day
that.
services sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, where he can also go to animals. And he's in a very active group with the other.
Yeah, they're walking a lot. They're swinging. They're constantly busy with him.
You told me
certain way.
They're in nature a lot. What do they do in nature?
Yes, they are riding with car and horses.
Okay,
it's so nice, and then they go into the forest. Yeah, he likes that a lot. He also goes to, they have a donkey, they have chicken, they have...
At the daycare. Is it like a care farm? Is it what you would call a care farm?
Kind of that, but they also have a lot of sports they can do all day night. Yeah. So there are who goes to the gym, they go in swimming, they go for a long walk. Some they are going to do some shopping in the village. They also, so they have to go for a walk, and when he's busy with his body, then his mind's getting the opportunity to learn, to develop. So that's very beautiful to see.
And what is he learning?
Well, we are recognized that he is giving much more meaning to words, and he can explain things better, and he is happier on his way. It doesn't cost him,
And he takes initiative to tell something.
Yeah.
What has happened that day, what he has seen. He wants to tell us things. Yeah. He wants to tell us.
Yeah, but he also, we had a couple of weeks ago, it was a holiday, and we went to sea.
To the beach.
To the beach.
Yeah.
And the big beach, he called it. And so I told him, okay, and what do we need? And he began to talk, and I thought, no, you can write. I told him, here, take a pen, take a pencil and a paper and put it on the paper. And so he did. And so he began to write it down, what we had to need for that day.
Yeah.
Wow, wonderful.
He made a list of about 6 or 7 things he wanted to get with him to the beach.
Yes. But in a way that he was also happy. It wasn't, he was happy to do it. And that's what we recognize. What he is doing now, it doesn't take that much energy of him. He likes to do it because he can. And a couple of years ago, he can't.
Yeah,
because
he couldn't do it.
No, because he
it always looked like he was under pressure to do
it.
Right. Not spontaneous.
I understand. Yeah.
Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, and he's still obviously involved in animals, in nature, and then when he's at home with you, well, there's horses around, there's
Yes.
nature.
Yes, we have 2 dogs, we have 2 cats.
Yeah.
So he's always into dogs.
Yeah.
Tell me about his interaction with the dogs.
Well, he has one particularly it's a Labrador, and that's really his buddy.
Yeah.
When he's coming home, he is taking some time after the computer. Then we are going for a eat, and then he's going to take the dog for a walk.
Yeah.
And also with the horses, when they are going somewhere, they are one. They are really one. Where the dog is Stan, and where Stan is the dog. And everyone in the neighborhood knows it. And and he's doing very well with it. Yeah.
Completely on his own.
On his own.
For about an hour or an hour and a half. He's gone with the dogs in nature, and then
yes, he gets a GPS on it.
Yeah,
Okay.
So we know, a tracker. So we know where he is.
And also the dog always knows the way home, presumably.
Yes,
Yeah.
with eyes closed.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember with my son Rowan, when he was first coming to visit us in Germany, he loves to be given challenges. So I would give him challenge. Okay, I'm going to drop you there in the car on the top of that mountain with the dog, and you're going to find your way home. You can GPS it, but the dog is going to take it. You can just,
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, and it really worked. It's very beautiful to see how each type of animal really does bring out a different aspect of the human. And it's something which I'm often encouraging our equine practitioners to think beyond the horse. You know, horses, they're fantastic. They do all these amazing things, but don't limit yourself, because what if this person is not so motivated by the horse? Or maybe they were motivated by the horse, but for some reason, now they lose that enthusiasm a little bit. My own son, for example, he's gone in and out of horses over his life. And sometimes he's really into the horse, and sometimes, it's not so much. And I must go with this.
Yeah.
I need more than that.
Yeah.
So as you know, we work with all kinds of animals in nature. But sometimes horse people can be a little bit autistic themselves, and it's just very horse. You know, I am similar. You know, if you leave me to myself, I'm just horse. But I realize that there are some limitations. If you're a horse nerd, and if you're on this podcast, I'm guessing you are, then you've probably also always wondered a little bit about the old master's system of dressage training. If you go and check out our Helios Harmony program, we outline there step by step exactly how to train your horse from the ground to become the dressage horse of your dreams in a way that absolutely serves the physical, mental, and emotional well-being of the horse and the rider. Intrigued? Like to know more? Go to our website, heliosharmony.com. Check out the free introduction course. Take it from there. Okay, so Stan is doing really well, and now you're in a position to give your experience to other families. Talk us through, okay, let's say I'm an autism dad and I find my way to your website.
Yeah.
I make contact with you. I'm new.
Yeah.
Tell me how it will go.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'm going to invite you, of course. And the first thing I do when I get someone here who is already where I already know he is autistic, I look at his body. What is he telling me? And that's very important, because we have talked it earlier. The body is telling me everything. And I quite often see that when I have a session with a mom or dad, or who are also autistic, or the kid, they are going to look for something while dialing the sissy to regulate themselves. So it's about a bracelet. the earring, their hair. They find stuff.
Yeah, we all stim,
Yes.
all of
yes.
us, to
Yes.
regulate ourselves.
Yes, especially when it's going to be difficult,
Yeah.
then oh my God, I have to regulate because this is very difficult.
Yeah.
And that's what triggers me. And when I throw in that at them, then I get the answers. Yeah, it is difficult. Yeah, emotions are difficult for me. Yeah, this is a big part of me. So that's my communication.
Are you always asking the whole family to come, or as many family members as possible? Or do you start with just the kid, or how do you
Yeah, just what they want, because I
Yeah.
always have the respect of them. What is what you need, and what is it what you want? I want to give a lot, but I want to know, what do you want and what do you need, and how does it go all the way? So sometimes I begin with the parents when they said also, well, first us. Fine.
Okay, so sometimes
fine.
you will do your first consultation with just the parents.
Yes, and
I think that's a good
sometimes,
idea.
yeah, and sometimes they told me, well, here we are. And then it's for the whole family. Okay, also good. So it's really, yeah, I feel it like, what is my intuition tells me what to do.
Okay. So how do your horses enter the picture?
What do you mean by that?
How do you, okay, now the parents have come, or the family has come, you're observing their bodies, you're finding out what they need to regulate themselves and so on. Now you're going to add a horse.
Yes. Yes.
How does this happen?
Yes. I'm going to look for the horses, what he is telling me. Is he standing by the stomach? Is he breathing out? Is he walking?
The horse.
Yes, the horse. That kind of things.
So is the horse coming into a space with the person now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. 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 And I also, when the knees are there, I have also a little boy who I have put on the pony, because he came from the hospital and he was sent from a specialist over there. He had some problem to go to the bathroom, just like I was then.
Yeah.
And then mother calls me and tells me that, oh, and he can't go to and he has medicine, and I don't want that medicine anymore. I want to go in for himself to go to the bathroom. Can you please help me? Of course. Come over here and we're going to have a look. That boy became 2 times here, and he go to the bathroom.
Yeah, riding on the back.
Riding on the back of the horse, and he go to the bathroom.
You took a poo on the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. And that's exactly what we are doing. And that's also what you are doing with the kid put on the horse, and your story with Rowan. So I had to think about you when it happened. I thought, yeah, this kind of story. And now I have it myself, my own. So the mother is very glad about that. But now the new school year has become and she's calling me again, because the kid has a lot of tension, and again, he doesn't go to the toilet. So we have to go again. It's yeah, I don't mind, because I know it's going to be all right. And I know where it's from. The kid had a lot of tension. So it will be going all right after a few times.
So you do work with people riding as well as people on the ground?
Yes.
How
yes.
do you decide how to proceed?
What the question of the parents is, I only put children on pony, not parents.
Okay.
No, the parents are always standing beside the horse. Yes. So the children, I put them on the horses. And I also learn them other things, also school things. We have special therapy. We call it different learning by horses. And that's for child who doesn't come
along with
with
words and mathematics.
Yeah.
Like that.
And is that something you've developed yourself, or is that a program that you use that's an outside program?
Yes, I've learned it.
Learning with horses, it's called.
Yes.
And is that a Dutch thing, or is that
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So tell me
Yes.
how that works.
Yes, it is. Well, finally, you're going back in time, how we learned on school.
Hmm.
That's the part they don't get it on that way anymore on school. So,
What do you mean?
what do I mean?
Learning through repetition?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And it is the same as the mother with her boy who doesn't go to the toilet. Now the horse is the biggest friend of the child who can't read or write or something like that. And when the horse is with him, it goes on. It
Yeah.
goes because the tension is gone, and there's
So
another.
when you're working with the academic stuff on the horses, the learning with horses, are you using the horse's movement as a rhythm to then create repetition of saying things and giving information into the brain?
Yes, sometimes.
Is it working like that?
Sometimes, and we also do some how do you call it? Also bags.
Yeah, bags.
Bags, rights and lefts of the
Mhm.
child when they are on the horses, and then
Mhm.
we tell them to take something out of the left bag with the right hand.
Okay. Okay. So
Also,
crossing the midline, you want them to.
yes,
Yeah.
yes,
That's also for the BDNF in the brain, right?
exactly, exactly.
But when you're dealing with an academic concept like, say, numbers, and you're doing this on the horse, tell me how it works. How are you doing it?
So we have a couple of things how we do it. Sometimes first we do it when they take beside them, so they walk with the horse, and
Yeah.
then just simply from 1 to 10, or we put we call it tientallen when they are further. But yeah, let's keep it easy. My English is not that good. How can I explain it?
The practice from the numbers from 0, 10, 20, 30,
Yes.
40,
So
50.
counting.
Yes.
Yes,
Counting.
yes,
Okay. So you could count steps, you could count.
yes.
Yes.
But okay. But let's say you want to do arithmetic. Let's say you want to do division. How would you do that?
What do you mean exactly?
Well, for example, when I was teaching my son numbers and letters on the horse, initially what happened was I followed his interests, right? So he loved The Lion King. So I would be singing the Lion King songs. Don't worry, I'm not going to sing now. And
Yes.
then I would take a character like, say, Zazu, and I would put the letters of Zazu on these different trees.
Yes.
We would ride, but at least 30 seconds of riding in between each letter. So the trees are at a distance. We can also learn what is this tree, etc. And then at the end, there'd be a little toy of a Zazu. And he learned to put the letters together. And then from there, very quickly, it went out to reading. Similarly, with numbers, I would start with counting the steps of the horse and so on, and then counting things from the horse. But
Yeah.
then I could get friends and family members to stand together. One of them wears a silly hat. That one has to go. So push that one away, making farts because it's funny. And then we see how many are left. And then this person starts to cry because they're by themselves. So we have to put them back. And how many have we got? And then say that's adding and subtracting. But then with division, let's say I had 6 people in a line, I would say to Rowan, do you think they can run? Let's see if they can run. And then we'd go behind. And of course, I've told the people what we're going to do. And then we come really fast in the gallop,
Yeah.
the middle. Okay. And the 2 groups of 3 go, "Ah!" and they run away to each side. And then we have, oh, look, we've got 2 groups of 3. So, 6 divided by 2 is 3. And then we round them up with farts, multiply 6 times 2, like a cowboy, a farting cowboy, and suddenly we have multiplication. And we found that this kind of thing worked very well. Are you doing something similar, or does it happen differently with you?
Yeah, it's only with the child. So there are no other
People around.
No,
Okay.
no.
And let's say it was something like the using of the numbers. Can you give us an example?
Yeah,
What you would do?
I can. Sometimes I put a clock
Mm-hmm.
on the ground, and I will ask them how late it is when they are already doing that. So it's also what you also told. Put numbers around in a circle, or I let them search for it. It's also something. Yes, sometimes I let them search for it, and I put a number on, and I thought, well, go for look for the same numbers, and then they have to pronounce it also. What kind of number do you have? Sometimes I put also the words under the number, so they have it both. So they have and the number and the words. So, for example, two. Then they also have the word two under the number. So there are a couple of ways I can, teach them.
And is this generally with younger kids, or is it all ages?
Most of all till 12 years.
Okay.
Yes.
And what would you say, the most complex mathematical thing that you would?
That's a difficult question. Because every child has his own difficulty. So, that's a difficult question. I cannot really say this thing is really on top of it or something. No.
I'm just thinking, for example, when I was finishing the extent of my abilities with maths, which are not very big, the process that I just described with Rowan was about as much as I could really do, because I'm not a mathematician. So I then made contact with a really good mathematician who understood what we were doing with movement, with the horse and with not. And he's this guy called Dr. Alfred Ziegler. He's German, and he was a physics professor at the University of Osnabrück and an old family friend of my wife's family. He understood the need for movement. So we asked him to come up with modules, teaching modules that we could do for children who were needing to go to more advanced levels. And we found it was extraordinary that we could teach things like how to calculate the area of a circle, or how to calculate pi, or how to do complex geometry using the horse, using the forest, using the dog. And on our website, we have all of these modules now for people to use, because we became frustrated with our own limitations. So we began to reach out to other people for maths and science. And we found that through these collaborations, we could do things like this. Are some of the kids coming to you needing to learn some of the higher skills? And if so, are you finding ways to address them?
No,
Or are you staying fairly much at the basics?
Yeah. Most of all the basics, and it's most of all that school is too quick. They are pushing it.
Yeah, sure.
They want to learn it very quick, but they don't understand what they are learning. So that's the thing.
Yes, I agree. It's so difficult in school because the sensory environment is wrong. The kid can't move. The school smells bad.
Yes.
They're afraid of the other kids. They're afraid of the teacher. Everything is going to push the learning backwards. And when they come out to a place like yours, suddenly they're with somebody nice. And they're with two nice people. One of them has 4 legs, one of them has 2 legs. They're in a nice environment. As you say, there's time, they can relax, and they're moving.
Yes.
Again, neuroplasticity. Do you then get reports back from the school, from the teachers saying, oh, or from the parent, this child made a jump?
Yeah, but I also recognize that school is a little bit but
Yeah,
I'm
sure.
a teacher, so how is this possible?
Yeah.
No,
Yes,
no.
they hate admitting it, don't they? It's like,
Yeah,
it
so
couldn't possibly be the lady with the horse. Yeah.
yeah, but you're only a coach. You're not a teacher. How? So that's a little bit, sometimes a fight. Fiction, friction between the teacher and me as a coach. And how is it possible? Parents are happy. They see again with a smile and learning.
I tell you, it really does help when we do our trainings for horse boy and movement method. One of the things that we teach people is the neuroscience,
Yeah.
and when you understand why the brain is responding in this way, and you can say to that teacher, well, it's because blah 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 and blah. First you create oxytocin, then that gets rid of cortisol, then this creates BDNF. BDNF does this in the brain, and then in the BDNF you get these other cells in the cerebellum that govern social skills and motor skills and so on and so on. And this way we can feed in the information like this. That's why it works. And here are 10 university studies that prove it.
Yeah.
What really helped us last year, 2024, was a PhD was published into one of our programs, which is called Movement Method, which is the one we do without horses, that's now in schools. But it's based on everything that we do with horses. It's just, we realized that people needed, something to do, at home. And we never thought that it would end up in schools, but it did. And then a PhD was done on movement method in schools in Germany, what were called Brennpunkt schools, was burning point schools, where they had an overwhelming number of refugees. And there were Ukrainian children with Russian children fighting. There were Syrian children fighting with Iraqi children and so on. And movement method came in and didn't just create better academic and better behavior outcomes, but also, this was interesting, the teachers wanted to stay in the job. There was better teacher satisfaction and fewer teachers leaving the job, because we did the study over some years. It's really handy when you can point to these things with schools and teachers and say, well, look, why are these schools in Germany doing it then? Why are these schools in the USA doing it? Why in Ireland does the government now sponsor horse boy and movement method programs again since 2024? Well, because it works. Why does it work? Okay, blah, blah, blah. So maybe when we're done with this call, I can connect you with some people in the Netherlands who are working in this way and have access to that data. And then when you approach a school or you're talking with a school, it's not just you, Monique Timmermans, the lady with the horses. No, we're attached to this large scientific community. Admittedly, we didn't start as scientists. And therefore, if you don't believe me, then show me your doctorate in neuroscience, please. Where did you get your doctorate?
Get it,
And then of course I say, well, I haven't got one. And you say, well, then why are we arguing? And I think I'm optimistic. I have a feeling that there's a shift coming in education, because most schools know that essentially they're failing. And I think many parents are voting with their feet and removing their children from the school system. More than ever, And so one can go from this, and then I would bet that 2 years from this conversation, those same schools will be using you as an outside classroom, which is what often happens to a lot of the people that we do trainings with. And suddenly they're saying, "Oh, Monique, could you take these 5 children?"
Of course. Nice.
Okay. So where's it going for you? How do you want to develop your program? Where do you see it? And are you attached to any larger groups within the Netherlands? Are you very much a one-man show? What's your desire for the future as an autism mum? during
Yeah.
this stuff?
Well,
Where are we going?
where are we going? I don't know. I don't know where we're going, but I would like to help other people, other families. I think I can give them a lot of experience, and I want to have a holistic way. I like that because there are a lot of things in the family that are important. And yeah, learning by the job. I don't know where I'm going to. I take it from the moment, and yeah.
Well, listening to you in this conversation, what I hear from both of you very much is the word family, family, family. Like,
Yeah.
so you have had this experience because you have 3 children,
Yeah.
right? We have not had the time in this conversation to talk much about the experience of your other 2 children. However, I'm sure that you have had and you still have to live a life in which making sure you meet the needs of the other 2 kids presents constant challenges. And these challenges change, right? From, year to year, month to month. And then there's also your marriage, right? So you're lucky you guys have stayed, strong, you've stayed together. And I know this is not the experience of the majority of special needs families. It's about 80% divorce. Now, it's 50% anyway, divorce rate, but 80%, that's high. You must have had challenges, obviously, like anyone, any marriage, staying together through the difficult times. What would you say is, both of you, let's hear from you a little bit, sir. As an autism dad in this situation, also, you've got it on your shoulders. You've got to say, shit, I've got to keep earning the money. But at the same time, I can't separate myself too much from the family and just say, I'm earning the money. You, Monique, go there, sort out the kids. We know this doesn't work. What were the biggest challenges for you as a dad? And how has Monique's work helped shape you as a dad? Or how has you as a dad helped shape Monique's work? Wow, that's difficult to say.
Yeah, of course, it's both ways. The most important thing we've learned together is that you give each one the time and the space to accept the situation we're in.
Okay.
Yeah, especially with, you have a special child with special care, special attention. Yeah. But your other 2 kids are also special in another way. Yeah. So they need the same attention. Yeah. That's why we earlier told that we are very thankful that we learned at the Dolphin therapy to park Sam for a moment, because we are busy at that moment with the other 2, or one or the other 2 kids. Yeah. But the most important thing is, I'm a man. I look differently at some things, especially about emotions or something like that, to certain situations. Yeah. About a number of things. But Monique respects my point of view and those emotions. And otherwise, I respect Monique with her emotions, and at some points she needs more time, and in other occasions I need more time to accept things. It's also very important that you have things that are only for you. Yeah, I like to run and to go on a bicycle for a few hours or something like that. Yeah, sport is very important for me. So she gave me the opportunity to do my sports. Yeah. The other thing is, Monique is, she already told, horses are everything. Yeah. So she needs her space and her time with the horses.
Yeah.
So that's the balance you're looking for constantly.
Yes. Yes.
And after a while, you don't have to think anymore how to get that balance. You recognize when you go, okay, now we're a little off balance. What do we need to balance again?
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. This type of communication, it's so interesting because what we're trying to do, I think, with all of our equine assisted practice is get communication, right? You're dealing with a non-verbal kid, or you're trying to get communication. You're dealing with somebody who has depression, is a little shut down, or it's all about communication. Of course, marriages, we know that when we stop communicating, things get funky very fast. But fortunately, I think in our practice, we have a practice of trying to communicate. So perhaps it comes a little more naturally to us to say, maybe we don't want to be here. Maybe we have some tools to get out of here. Let's use them. Do you guys help other couples with this? Do you advise the parents, not just in their parenting, but also in their communication within the marriage at all? Has this come into the practice?
Not especially, but sometimes I have some kind of couples in my practice
Yeah.
who has this problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, on that way it is. And the only thing I have done 2 years ago was that,
Yeah, she had a lecture
yeah,
for a number of people,
yeah,
and not
parents,
yeah, a lot of different people who
Yeah.
are connected with autism. So parents with autism, but also people from the community, from government, social workers, etc., like that. And there she gave a lecture
Story.
about our experience,
Yeah.
how to deal with
Yeah.
a child who has autism.
And what to do with when it is Easter and you have all the family on your table and standing nice and your son or daughter is going to the kitchen alone. No, you have to come over here because no, just let them. Now
Let them.
that kind of thing. Well,
Yeah.
many eyes opened over there and they told me, really? Are you doing that this way?
Yeah.
How nice. And I really thought, huh? You don't know? It's yeah.
It is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think one of the things which is the key here, whether we're talking about with the child or whether we're talking about with each other, it's about letting off the pressure.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that so often there is this tendency to think we're in a crisis situation here or something. We just put more pressure on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And whether we do this, I do this to my wife, or I do this to my kid, or my kid does it to me, and it's often at that. And I think this is where horses are really good.
Yeah.
We know that when things get challenging with horses, if you put more pressure on in that moment, you could die. Like
Yeah.
you really could.
Yeah. He's gonna be very angry.
Like that. So why don't we apply the same logic to our human situations? And it's so interesting that whenever we say, just let him go to the kitchen and let the Easter unfold for everybody else. And we will work on being able to be together at table over 5 years. It's fine. Suddenly you feel that sense of, like a relief, or
Yeah.
in a marriage. Oh, you mean I don't have to fix all your problems and you don't have to fix all my problems? Whew. Well, thank God. 'Cause I
Nice.
can't. I know I can't. Here is something which I think, we're approaching now towards, the hour and a half, 2 hour mark. And, we can pick this conversation up again later. But something I'm seeing more and more, I think, with the parents that I work with who are more than 10 years into this adventure, that what is not addressed is the cumulative trauma that special needs parents go through in the course of their lives, and that there is never any time to address this. And I'm not saying that we can create this time, because life is life.
Yeah.
But I think it would be useful to begin to put together some sort of methodology for looking at this, acknowledging this, saying, well, what do we do? given that this is not an ideal situation, when people need 30, 40 years of 50 years of energy to keep this going. And, you're a financial advisor. So, so I know from this financial side too, with special needs, you really have to think, okay, what happens after I die? And not just, there's the financial side, and then there's also the family side. Will the family come together around my child, or will my child be somewhat alone after I die, etc., etc., etc.? These worries that we keep us up at night, plus just the accumulated exhaustion and worry and flat out trauma. So this business of being a special needs parent and a special needs couple, obviously we've seen that it can split people apart or it can weld people together. Do you see your practice evolving over the next few years towards helping couples?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I can bring a lot. I have a lot of experience, and I know the way you have to go through it. It's not always easy, but
Never easy.
never is. It never is. But also there, when you listen to each other, that it's going to be okay. You have to know it's always with the best ways you are doing it.
That everyone is actually trying their best.
Yeah, it's not because you don't like your partner, or no, it's just because probably you love your husband or your wife and you want the best for it. But that sometimes it struggles. Because you want.
Well, I think too, with
both.
stress, the stress hormone cortisol
Yeah.
makes us not rational, right? So we know this when cortisol gets going in the brain, the stress hormone, we become aggressive, we become defensive, we become 3 years old again. And if we're in situations where this is happening constantly, then we're constantly 3 years old. And this is not helpful.
No.
So I would be very interested in the next, I think this is where it has to go in our work. I think most of us have been concentrating for the last 20 years or so on the child, perhaps, or the individual with the condition, perhaps the family as well, but not really the couple, not really the primary engine that keeps the whole thing going. And I'm realizing more and more that this is where we have to collaborate. All of us who have been, I want to throw this out there for the listeners and the viewers. If you've been in this journey for more than 10 years, you have a lot to share. And do we all need to get together now and create a practice that does address the exhaustion, the trauma, the deep unhappiness and sadness that, can grow over time, despite, yes, it's beautiful, and yes, we can see success, but sometimes having to speak so positively all the time can also take its toll. That, what do we do with this sadness? What do you feel, you two? What do we do?
Yeah.
Well, the point is, when your child is born, you have several expectations about they go to university, they make friends, they get married, get children, etc. All that kind of life events that you are expecting. And when they are diagnosed autism, a lot of these expectations you have to change, because some won't get married or get children or graduate at high school or university or something like that.
It's a kind of grief.
It's a kind of grief indeed. And you have to find a way to see the positive things of Stan. You're much easier happy about the little steps he makes in comparing with the other children who does graduate or do the things, do the things are similar with their age. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I'm just thinking while you were talking about Rowan, and so although Rowan is, he's very independent. He has his own house and car now. He travels independently. He has a couple of different jobs.
Yeah.
And in some ways, though, he's also still completely autistic. It's in parallel, this extreme functionality with this extreme, autism. But what I really have come to see is that he has this role as a peacemaker. He resolves conflict. He does it within my family when we're all pissed off with each other. Rowan only has to enter the conversation and suddenly we're all a little bit back on our game. It makes us focus on what's important. And then I find too that when he is physically present, people behave better. People are, and I bet it's the same with Stan, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
You were talking about like when he's out with the dog in the neighborhood, and everyone is they're looking out for Stan, and if they're either see the dog, and if they see the dog, they know he's there, or if they see he's there, they know the dog is there. That this is a cohesive thing for the community, and so when you're talking about adjusting expectations, I think what's often not presented is there are actually some really high and good expectations, like, for example, our children taking on these conflict resolving roles, which are very, very valuable.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But this is not something which is presented to us culturally. So maybe people like you, people like me, need to be going out there with this.
Yeah.
Okay, you've resolved, you're abandoning, there's a grief over this set of expectations and dreams, but here are the other ones.
Yes. Sometimes I tell someone else when everyone was like Stan, it would be a beautiful world. Because he learns us to enjoy the little things, the times he is walking with his frog on his finger. Look, I have a frog.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad. I'm laughing. It's lovely because I don't even catch a frog, and he is just walking with a frog.
And so something is going on in the consciousness field between him and the frog. Something is going, and that reminds us, there are these different fields of consciousness. And I can't walk around with a frog on my finger. You can't walk around with a frog on your finger.
No.
But he can.
Yeah.
What else can he do? He can resolve conflict by walking through the community.
Yeah.
Perhaps the person who sees him has just had a big argument with their wife or kid, and then they see Stan and the dog come through, and they're like, I bet you that's going on.
Yeah.
That's how, because Stan has no expectations to anyone, to no one at all.
I just wanted to help.
Okay. And we always have expectation. We always already imagination things, what's going to happen,
How it should
perhaps would be happen, how it should be. And Stan doesn't do that because so he is living the life
right at the moment. Just moment by moment, and not what it's about next week. No, like horses. Now
this is it, and not what
this moment
happen.
Yeah.
Unconditional love.
Yeah.
Yes, unconditional love. Yeah.
Well, that's a great note to end on. I look forward to continuing this conversation. I think, Monique, you and I should try to collaborate a little bit.
Nice.
And obviously there's a fair horseboy community in the Netherlands, but particularly over this business of the parental experience, and perhaps both of you, we could continue this conversation. I think it has to happen. But thank you so much for coming on the show and having this conversation. I really appreciate it. I know our listeners.
Thank you.
We liked it a lot.
Yeah, we like this very nice. Yeah.
To tell them, yes.
Yeah.
Spread the
Nice.
word.
Spread the
It
word.
is. And, you know, next time I'm coming through the Netherlands, I'd love to come and check out InKompassie. So
Nice.
for those people who want to check out Monique's work, it's InKompassie.nl, right?
Yes, right.
And if you're an English speaker, the Kompassie bit is spelt with a K.
With a K. Yes.
InKompassie, IE. So it's like compassion, but with a K, not a C, and IE, not
Yeah.
I. InKompassie.nl for the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Yes.
Check out her stuff.
Thank you.
We will.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, my friends, until the next time. Thank you again.
Next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you.
Bye-bye. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation as much as I did. If you like what we're doing here, please do like, subscribe, tell a friend. It so helps us to get this valuable work done and the message of equine assisted stuff out there. And if you're interested in more conversations, you might want to check out our Live Free, Ride Free podcast. And if you'd like to support the podcasts, please go to rupertisaacson.com and click on the Patreon link. If you're a professional in the equine assisted field or are considering a career in the equine assisted field, you might want to check out our 3 certification programs: Horseboy Method, Movement Method, and Takhin Equine Integration. You can find all of those over on newtrailslearning.com. And finally, if you want to check out our cool rock and roll themed merch, back on rupertisaacson.com, please click on shop. You'll find all kinds of fun goodies there. And if you're looking for a way to spend time until the next podcast, you might want to consider reading the books that kicked all this off: The Horseboy, The Long Ride Home, and The Healing Land. So see you next time on Equine Assisted World. Join us for the adventure.